Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today I am excited to do this video because I'm doing something where I've been wanting to do for a while, and that is ranking the top 5 drivers that I've experienced in my lifetime of tour with 2 honourable mentions. So I'm going to get into it. So first off the order, when I say lifetime, it the driver I've seen in my lifetime. So I was born in 2000, so therefore it's like a long, so smatter, button, all them lot up until now. So that's how it was. That is what I'm gonna do today. And of course, you can let me know the comment of your opinion, and of course, you can talk about what I put down to have a little conversation about it, and to lean as I care, because all of this is about is opinion, your opinion and my opinion. So, first off, I've got a number 4. I snipped number 5 on purpose, and I want to keep that until the end. So, number 4 I've got down is Sebastian Vettel. I've got Sebastian Vettel at my 4th best driver of my lifetime because what he have done in his early day in Motorsport, in pretty much in his career, winning championship 4 times in a row, and here's the driver. I like the attitude of the ego that Vettel has gotten in Motorsport, where he would dominate against his teammate, and of course his teammate, which is Mark Webber, always had opinion about Sebastian Vettel. But this Vettel turn, no he doesn't. He just wants to win the championship, and he had a lot of competition in his time. Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Timmy, Mark Webber himself, he has some competition, so therefore you can see it already going to be difficult for him to win 4 times in a row. But he done that, and of course he went to Ferrari, and of course he went to Aston Martin, and those two were the better time of his career. But Vettel, who is 4-time world champion, I've got to get him down number 4 because he's proven what he can do, and he's the youngest world championship as well. He also had one of the most brilliant talent that I've seen in my lifetime. Let's be honest here. He's a brilliant driver. But that'll bring me to number 3. When I talked about talent, this man here is on his way to fight for the 5th championship this season, and that is Matt Verstappen. Matt, what a driver he is. I mean, honestly, I know there's been some question about his national talent, and honestly, his talent is gifted. If he can drive multiple cars across the motorsport, you got to admit he is that talented. He can drive GT, and of course, he done his 3rd time in North London in Nürburgring, where he won it on his debut with a proper full power of the car in Ferrari. He won it, dominated the competition, and of course, in Formula 1, he has some questionable season sometimes with his attitude, his aggression, and all that. It's always very questionable. But that is what you gotta do in Formula 1 sometimes. You gotta put elbow out if you want to get where you are. And he is a brilliant driver. I must argue he didn't have that much of competition as Sebastian Vettel had. And the competition he really had was Charles Leclerc, Hamilton, Vettel, when he was in Ferrari, I would say that, not Spur, of course, only spent 1 year again to Verstappen, where he was in a competitive car between the Motorsport. But, Matt, it's been absolutely brilliant over the years, and I'm always flabbergasted when I've seen him. This season alone has proven what he can do, what he is capable of being able to do. And last season with this team, and 2023 with one of these but seasons, he won 19 out of 24, which was absolutely impeccable. The form he moved on is incredible, and I know there's some people say, oh, that's because of the car, and this is something I was saying right now. Just because it's the car, you need a driver that can drive that car. It's like taming the beast. That's what it is, and that's what Matt did with that Dust Ball when he was dominating that season of 2023, and that's why I put him down in the bit of the national talent, where it can drive a lot different car in the motorsport, and that is absolutely phenomenal. But that brings me to number 2, who a lot of people consider the ghost, and that is Michael Schumacher. Michael Schumacher. Yeah, I know I talked about 2009 upward, I was alive, but Michael Schumacher was in Formula 1, so technically I can still count it because I've seen him a couple times around when I was a young kid. The third time I've seen him was obviously in the Mercedes, which was 2010, and but that was not my third time who I brought me to Formula One. There's someone else who done that, but Michael Schumacher, because he got into back into Formula One in 2010 rather Mercedes to help him out and everything. But I've seen loads and loads and loads of clips about him. Michael Schumacher is absolutely brilliant driver. He napped the live of intensity of overtaking at Russian. And yes, done a little bit of a spike of cheating, especially with that 1995, no, 95 or 1940, then Damon Hill. It was very suspicious. If you know what I'm talking about, but Michael Schumacher was a brilliant driver in Ferrari, dominated every single season up until Fernando of course taking that crown of Michael Schumacher, and every time I hear my dad talk about him, or I hear YouTube or what the highlight, Michael is there already got me a goosebump instantly, and he is the second most win in the Formula 1 with 92, I think it is. So, clearly he is one of the best driver of the generation back in the day, and I will still put him in because I was alive when I seen him doing his second time in Formula 1, but he came back from retirement, did he? But that brings me to number 1 and 5. But before I make those, I want to put in that honourable mention, 2 honourable mention, and that first one is Fernando Alonso, the old Spaniard. Fernando Alonso. I even got the jersey off for him, which you see on my back. Fernando Alonso, he is. I mean, honestly, I was thinking in my head, should I put him in the list? Because he is he's one of the best. But I was arguing with it, and the reason I didn't put him into top 5, you will understand why when I put my 5th one in. But Fernando Alonso, what a driver. He's the man that took the crown of Master Schumacher. Nearly did it. Well, not nearly did it, but to Hamilton in 2007, that McLaren, competition for the win until Timmy came along and took it off them. And of course, in Ferrari, when he went again to Sebastian Vettel. And Tony Fernando should have won it at least one time in Ferrari in that 2010 to 13. He should have won it, but he didn't, unfortunately. But Fernando Alonso, he was one of the best drivers. He's the oldest driver on the grid right now, over 20 years. Over 20 years. That's insane. Like, can you imagine going, like Timmy at the yellow? He wasn't even alive. He's still 18 years old. Fernando was in Formula 1 4 5 more years older than at the yellow. That's just insane. But my second honourable mention is Charles Leclerc, the monotone man himself. I like Charles Leclerc. There's been times where I'm just thinking, you're very annoying, and that's only because how good he is. When you get to the point you see driver that's just beating out your favourite driver, you're thinking you're very annoying. That's how I felt about Matt when I went to Hamilton in 2021. But Charles Leclerc, the reason that he's annoying because he should come out of nowhere. He should don't know it, and even though he should put in the door 10-6 who always there to surprise you, even in the qualifying up, he can smash a fantastic lap. I mean, for example, the recent one in Mexico. He was very close to it. He did quite get it to Lando, but he was close to it. And I've told my basically most memorable I have a thing that we're collecting unfortunately. In 2024 in Monaco last season, I got emotional that season, that like Monaco because of what David Lotfi has said, because of what we know about his journey to Formula One hasn't been quite easy. He lost his godfather, Drew Blanty, he lost his dad, to the condition he had, and Charles Leclerc is he was at the time he was struggling, but obviously he won Monaco. I think we all were proud of him that finally he did something special, and of course he did win loads of races in his career. The only reason that he tired of not in the league, it's been stacked back by Ferrari because they are absolutely garbage of a car and a garbage team. I know Ferrari fan out there will come after me, but it's the truth. Unfortunately, the last time they won championship was 2007. How insane is that? They couldn't lost the championship probably around the same time or a little bit early. I need to find out. So clearly, you can't rely on Ferrari giving you the best car, giving you the best strategy. And I can imagine Charles Leclerc in McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, he can pretty much win quite easily. But because in the Ferrari, it's hard to step back a little bit for him. But he is still a driver that put in result after result, like in that task, right? Not really supposed to be. And that is similar to Fernando Alonso. He was a similar thing what he when he was, specifically the season at the Martin last season, he taunted it like the result. Fernando and Charles, with similar situation right now where they have to the car to where it is up until the point they need to be in, you know what I mean? So like 11th and up to 5th. That's what you have to do. And I know it's a hard work. I know it's not a bad for that one, but it's carrying really hard. That is my honourable mention. So I'm gonna go into my 5th and 3rd. My 5th one. I know people in the comments have been like, who are pretty much biased. I'm like, no, I'm not. The fifth person that in my list is George Russell. The reason I got the number 63, George Russell on the list, is because I've watched him in Formula 2 when he was, doing, but I think it was back to back. I just always forget he had back to back victory, in the championship, the up to, and I think he's one of the most underrated driver ever in Formula One of this generation. And people always say he's moping, he's complaining, he's overrated. Shut up. Simple as it is. Because if you compare him to Matt, Oxford, Lando, Hamilton, everyone, they complain as well. You can't just pin it on one person. They see they had the Piastri complaining against Lando Norris. George Russell in Mexico, he was diva, and I enjoyed every minute of it, and I was trying to help him because he is basically in the right to be able to say those things because he actually got a point here, and of course, I have said this to one of my friends that Russell should have been in Mercedes 2 years early. So basically, 2020, the COVID season, 2020, that was the year Russell should have been in, and he proved it in Bahrain. And I get, if you don't want to put him in there, fine. Put him in 2021, but they didn't. Because I guarantee that if he was, he would have been competitive against Hamilton. George is just one of the brilliant drivers that I've seen that worked hard to play always strives for being the best. That's what I see in Russell, and that's why I got him number 5. And of course, there's no pattern in this because there's pretty much most of them are the championship drivers, aren't they? Apart from Leclerc and Russell, but they are in there within their own right of how brilliant and talented they are. But now bring me to my number 1, who I think is one of the best to ever touch Formula 1 in my lifetime, and that is Sir Lewis Hamilton. He is the unstoppable. He is one man army, basically. That's what Hamilton is. And I know in Ferrari he had not really, but shut the same leader as Charles Leclerc. Ferrari are garbage. I don't care if anyone can attack me, but it's the truth. Ferrari are garbage that step back. Leclerc and Hamilton. And Lewis Hamilton, with all that statistically, he should be 11 world champion, even if he didn't make his own mistake in 2007. And then, of course, there was one in 2016, of course, with Motorsport that put him up into 9, and then Abu Dhabi that put him to 10. But the 11th, I think that was in 2012, wasn't it? There was something to do with Metallica final that affected his championship run. I think that was that year. I need to find out tour. So Hamilton in McLaren to Mercedes to Ferrari, we can tell it's clearly going up in that way, and with the Ferrari being the potentially the last ride for Hamilton, and I can't imagine the sport without him. Without Hamilton, he is the best ever to do it. He went on and dominated the sport over 100, like I think he got 100, like no 105, but the two at the win from last season he had 105 champions long point win and over 200 podium. Come on, you gotta admit Hamilton is the best driver, and they got the most points, over 5,000 points altogether in Formula One. And to me, Hamilton is my hero. He was actually the third driver that put me into Formula One, that made me passionately watch F1 ever since that McLaren first year with Hamilton in 2007. But I can admit, there's been an on and off for me watching F1 just then. But then when it got about 2012, 13, I got back into it. And that was also the year he moved to Mercedes. When you were a kid, all you wanted to do was play outside. That's pretty much why I didn't really watch F1 that much when I was a kid. I was like 5 years old, so don't judge me for that. But Hamilton is, uh, like I said, it's a one man army, unstoppable. He is the best. He is the best. He had the most aura. That's why. And and when people try to talk that on Hamilton saying he's washed, he's this and that, and I'm like, no, he's not. He's not. He's just having unlucky years. That's all it is. It's like it's like me having a bad day and work, or bad day today, or whatever. However it goes. That's just like for Hamilton. You can have a bad weekend. That's that's just normal, isn't it? He's a human being who can only be on a prime very long to time before things start and change a lot, and that's what happened with this era of loud and fast. And that's what set back Hamilton, because that's not his style, isn't it? But to me, Hamilton's still one of the best, the best driver of all time. Simple as it is, I don't really care what you say in the comments. They are Russell, this and that. I don't care. Those are my top 5, along with 2 honourable mentions. As always, for again, 2 honourable mentions: Fernando, Charles Leclerc, P5, Russell P4, Vettel P, Lee Verstappen P2, Schumacher, and number 1 is still Lewis Hamilton. Of course, those are my list that I believe is the best driver of this lifetime of mine opinion in my lifetime as well. That's how it should be for me. And of course, let me know in the comments, what do you think about those top 5 along with those 2 honourable mentions, and of course let me know in the comments of your own top 5 drivers along with 2 honourable mentions in your lifetime. So if you were alive for 30 years, name the driver that was then in your period of lifetime, but make sure you clarify this somewhere this day you were alive. 1990 or something, do I know that I said that's when he was, you know what I mean? But that is my top 5, 2 honourable mentions. Let me know the comment of your, and if you want to have a chat about that in the comment, you can. That's not even a problem for me anyway. So that'll bring the end to the video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will definitely do 2 part. The second part is going to be the 75 year, so going back to like top 1 man of a father to bam on beta. So from there to now, 75 years, the next one I'm gonna do. So don't forget, please like and dislike my video. Do my appreciate it and peace out.